Hello and welcome to ATG webinar, Revit Sheet Index from PDF. My name is Matt Lin. I am a member of the architecture team here at ATG. I will be your virtual host for today. Okay, here at ATG, we also provide the fastest AEC PC ever built. It is specifically designed for robust software and large files such as Revit and point clouds. So please reach out today if you would like to discuss how you can get your hands on one or more than one. If you are joining us live today, you will receive an email with this recording and other helpful resources after the event. If you are watching from YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date with the new content as it comes out. Please follow us on LinkedIn as well, as we post all new content to this location. As the name implies, today's webinar will focus on the creation of Sheet Index in Revit from a set of PDF drawings. This workflow will utilize Bluebeam Revu, Excel, Revit, and CTC Tools Spreadsheet Link. The course learning objectives include learning to create Bluebeam Revu bookmarks from plotted PDF drawings, and discover the efficiency of exporting bookmarks to an Excel spreadsheet, understand the relationship between CTC Spreadsheet Link and Revit parameters, and finally, leverage Spreadsheet Link to populate the Revit Sheet Index. Okay, so jumping into Revit. Okay, so I'm going to open up a standard data set file here. And when I scroll down to my project browser, you can see I've got some architectural sheets in here. The A's are at the top. I have some general sheets at the bottom as well. But first, I'd like to transition. I'm going to open up my spreadsheet link real quick. And I'd like to transition all of my sentence-cased sheet names to all caps. Okay, so that'll be my first item to achieve with the spreadsheet link. So what you can do is you can go to any category in Revit, select that category and extract the parameters that are available. And then you can essentially pick any of the available parameters, which are all the parameters for that category, and push them out to a spreadsheet for easy manipulation. Okay, so just like that, we have the sheet numbers and the sheet names pulled out to a spreadsheet environment. Okay, spreadsheet link itself is a spreadsheet link. I'm sorry, it is a spreadsheet environment, but you can also save it out to the proper Excel, which has a few more functions, and it's what we're all used to. So I'm going to save this out to Excel, and I'll just go ahead and call it upper for uppercase, save it out. And you have the option to open it directly, which I think I will do. Okay, you can see this is Excel property. Okay, so the next thing I can do, I can use some formulas like upper, then parentheses, select the cell, come over here and close the parentheses on the other side, which will automatically make that uppercase. And then, as I'm sure you know, you can autofill the rest of them simply by pulling this down, and now all the sheets are in uppercase. Okay, now the caveat is that's a formula, and what I really need is the text itself. So I'm going to copy, and then here, see the paste special? You can space special the values. Okay, so these are different. This one is a formula up here, upper. And this one is the actual value of the text itself. So now I can grab the text, right-click, copy, jump back to my spreadsheet link, and simply paste it right in. Okay, so right there, you can see they are all uppercase now. And all you have to do is simply apply it back to Revit. Okay, so you can, again, you're pulling parameters out of Revit. You're quickly manipulating the data in a spreadsheet environment, which is always faster, as we know, as opposed to a Revit schedule. Okay, apply it to the active worksheet, say yes, and watch the project browser over here. And you can see they're all in all caps now. Okay, so that was a lot faster than going in and editing each one individually, obviously. Okay, so now let's go ahead and jump to the schedules and go ahead and make a sheet list. Okay, so in our sheet list, I'll do, the standard, which is the sheet number and sheet name. Go ahead and pull these in like so. Okay, so we have our sheet list here. I want to modify the size of these. You can simply drag them. I like to be a little bit more precise myself. So we'll go 1/2 inch on the number, and then we'll go 3 inches over here on the naming side. Okay, so we have our sheet list created, which is right here. I'm going to open up my cover sheet, and I'll just go ahead and pull that right onto the cover sheet so we can see it. All right, now when I look at this, I don't really need these headings. I don't need to say sheet name and sheet number. That's pretty obvious. So I'm going to jump over to my appearance tab and simply uncheck that item, which will hide those. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I can see that A1.2, it's dragged over into that second line. So I'm going to clean that up, and I'm going to make this just a little bit wider. We'll go 3.5 inches here. Okay, that looks better. Now I can nudge it over using my arrow keys. Okay, so we have our sheet list. It's not in order though. Yeah, I can see some general sheets down here. It's predominantly got the A's at the top. And then that cover sheet, it's kind of, let's see, it's kind of in the middle. It's right here, yeah. So it's between my A7 and A2. And then there's some more architectural sheets. So the sorting is not that great here. Okay, we have the A's. So one method, we could jump directly to the sorting option within the schedule and say, let's do by sheet number. And that works, right? I mean, that's close. I have all the A's together and all the G's together, but ideally I'd like to have the general sheets first and then the architectural ones following them. So I'm going to come in and make a project parameter. Okay, specifically for sorting and grouping. So with that, I can come here, I can add a new parameter, and I'll just go ahead and call it sheet organization. Okay, now when you make a new project parameter, you need to make sure to attach it to the correct category. So in this case, we're attaching it to the sheet category. Okay, and this parameter will be it'll be a text type, so we can put any value we want. That all looks good. Okay, we've got our sheet organization parameter. All right, so now I can come back into my sorting and grouping. And as opposed to sorting directly by the sheet number, I can add this additional parameter and go ahead and add that field to the schedule. We can see it over here along the left. It's our new A column. Okay, now when you add a sheet parameter, it has sort of a double value because I can also organize my project browser. But first, I'm going to select these, and let's say these are going to be 0-1 general sheets. Okay. Now I could have, clicked in each individual cell and done that, but if you just select them over here in the project browser, and then populate it in your instance properties, it'll do them all at the same time, which is obviously much faster. Okay. So now we have O1 general, O2 architectural. I'm going to resize these. Again, I can drag it, but I like precision. So we'll say 1.5 inches. Okay, so now as mentioned, I can use that same parameter that I just made to organize my project browser instead. So I'm going to make a new one. We'll go ahead and call it sheet organization, essentially name it the same thing as the new parameter I just made. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make that my current for this project. and then I'll just come in and edit it, and grouping and sorting, and I'll use that new parameter that I just made called sheet organization. Say okay. Okay. So I like this setup because now my project browser and my sheet index are, mimicking each other. Okay, so then come back to your schedule and then jump over to the sorting and grouping and implement that same structure. First sheet organization, then sheet number. Okay, the organization looks good. I also like adding a little header in there just so I can see which discipline is under each section. Okay, so that all looks good. Let's jump over to the model environment itself. As mentioned, this is all architectural. So what if we go ahead and link in an MEP model, okay? And we want to, ultimately add their sheets to our index as well. Okay, so I'm gonna attach this MEP model. Okay, fits like a glove, just perfect. Just kidding. Most of you notice this or recognize this model. This is the, the Autodesk out of the box MEP model, which is fine for this purpose because all I care about are the sheets. Okay, so right down here, there's this include elements and link. So this is one method of going ahead and adding sheets of your consultants just by clicking that button. Okay, so just like that, you can see we have all of the sheets that were from that model, which is not that many, quite frankly. And it does give me the parameter sheet organization. However, I can't apply a value because it's in the link. I'm clicking in here and I'm actually typing on my keyboard. I realize you can't see my hands right now, but it's not allowing me to add a value here, which isn't great because now I can't sort and group them like I wanted in my sheet index. Okay, so because of that, I mean, that's not my favorite method simply because I can't sort and group. So I'll go ahead and uncheck that for now. Okay, so what's another method? Some people implement the dummy sheet method, which is another route you can do. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, okay, so let's say we received this PDF set from our consultants, and you notice there's 68 sheets here. Within these, we have some structural sheets. Okay, S001. Okay, so let's do the dummy sheet method. Okay, so I can hit that new sheet there. Alternatively, come over here, right click, new sheet. I don't necessarily need a title block because really all I want is the values to populate my sheet index. Okay, it's down here. It's under the question mark because, again, I haven't applied the sheet organization parameter value yet. So let's type in that S001. Okay, rename S001 and general sheets, or notes, I should say. Okay, so come over here. I'll give that the sheet organization of 03 structural. Come back to my sheet list. Okay, that works. It all looks good, right? Okay, so now I just need to go do that exact same thing 68 more times, right? All right, so bear with me. I'm just going to do this 68 more times. Okay, I'm kidding, obviously, right? Let's not do that. Okay, so that's one method. That's the dummy sheet method. Okay, let's go ahead and delete this. So that is one route. It would take a long time to go through all 68 sheets. Here's another method. You can insert data row, which essentially creates a sheet placeholder. Okay, so same method. This time, as opposed to editing in the project browser, I'm doing it in the schedule because it doesn't populate in the project browser because it's not an actual sheet. It's just populating my sheet index. Okay. General notes here. I can come back into this additional parameter and give it the value of 0.3 structural. Okay, and that works too, right? The result is the same. This is a little bit better than the previous version because I don't have that dummy sheet. I'm just editing my, just the index, not necessarily adding sheets to the project. Okay, S002 special inspections. Same thing, just come back over here. Let's see, S002 special inspections. And then I can give it the sorting category of 0.3 structural. Okay. Okay, that's a little better than the previous version. Now I just need to do that 68 more times. Or 66, I've got 2, okay. All right, obviously both of these methods would take a ton of time. Again, 68, we don't wanna do that over and over and over again. Okay, so what's another alternative? How can we do this faster? Let's go ahead and delete these, get rid of those. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of piggyback on that last placeholder method and go ahead and give that the number of 1. And then when I hit another one, when I say insert sheet, you can set it, it just added number 2. And what we want is 68 of these. So I'm just gonna keep hitting this insert row until I get 68. This is obviously way faster than inserting the data as we go. I'm just gonna click it, scroll down here to make sure I get the correct number. Let's see, I need 18 more. So I'm just watching the number until I get to 68 and we're good. Okay, so now I have the infrastructure set in my sheet index ready to apply data. All right, so let's get out of Revit here for a bit and let's open up Bluebeam Revu. Okay, now in Bluebeam Revu, again, we have 68 sheets here. And what we need to extract is this data down here, right? We need the sheet number and the sheet name. Okay, so we have some structural sheets up front. As we come through, we have some mechanical sheets. We have some plumbing, looks like some fire protection and electrical as well. All right, let's jump back to the beginning. Okay, so here is the bookmarks, and you can see my bookmarks are empty. These are the thumbnails. Currently, each individual sheet has a number. It's just 1 through 68. They don't have names. Now you can come in and click on each one and add names, but there's a shortcut with the bookmarks. I'm a big fan of the bookmarks, not only for this process, but also just for typical workflow in Bluebeam Revu as well. So let's create them. I'm going to create bookmarks using the page region right here. And with that, you can select the area on the PDF. Now, when you do this, you want to make sure it's a big rectangle, okay? So I'm going to go from there to there. Now, see how I'm way over? That accounts for if you have a sheet number that might be much longer than 4 digits, right? You want to make it as big as possible just to ensure that you encapsulate every sheet. You know, this one obviously fits very well, but there may be some with more. Okay, so right here, it gives you the preview, this S001, which is indicated here. In addition, we're going to add another region, which will be the sheet name. Again, oversize it to, you know, what could be your largest sheet name. So I'm going to fill that rectangle. Okay, again, coming down, looking at the preview, I can see it's S001 general notes. Now put them right up against each other. Now, what I'm going to do is come in and separate them with an underscore. And we're going to use this to our advantage later, okay? So for now, it reads nicely. You have the S001 general notes. And then so here, what range do you want to do? Do you want to do the current page, custom range? Well, in this case, we want all 68 sheets. So we're watching a blue line for a few seconds as opposed to going and manually doing this, which is obviously prone to error and doing all 68. So just like that, we have bookmarks for all the sheets ready to go. You can click on it. It'll jump directly to that sheet, like so. Okay. And you can go through and simply click on any of them. Okay. Now that you have the bookmarks, we can save them out via an export. So we're going to export the bookmark. And several options here. You can do a tree, you can do an index, several other. But here's what we want. We want the CSV, the comma separated value. Okay, and we're going to leverage that underscore we talked about earlier. Include column headings, sure. Okay, so I'm going to save this file on my desktop. I'm going to give it a name. Again, CSV, it's just looking to that extension right here. Okay, so we'll call this consultant sheets. Okay, go ahead and save that out to Excel. And just like that, we have all of the sheet names and numbers into this column A, which is the first column. You know, we don't need this. We don't need this level 1, so I'm just going to delete it. Okay. Scroll down, make sure I have 68. I do indeed. Okay, so they're all accounted for. Now, one thing to note is it put them all in one column, and I really need these broken out. Okay, I need them broken out because these are ultimately going to be 2 separate values in Revit, right? One's going to be a sheet number and one's going to be a sheet name. So in Excel, you can come over to this data and there's text to columns. So it's kind of like concatenating in reverse, right? Concatenating, you're taking multiple elements and putting them into one. This is going the opposite way. So I can come in, select the items in this column, all 68, like so. And then go back to my data tab and then this text to columns. Okay, so you can use any delimiter you want. And this is where we're going to leverage that underscore I put in earlier. You do tab, semicolon, space. What I want is other. So when I insert this, watch below in the data preview, see how it added that line as soon as I inserted the underscore? That's how it broke it apart, which is exactly what I want. Okay, next, and we'll go ahead and finish that. And just like that, those values are broken out into 2 columns, one for the sheet number and one for the sheet name. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and just save this. I want to save it as an Excel in case I need it again, which I should. Okay. Okay, that's all we need from that. So let's come back to our data in Revit here. So I can take that and I can copy paste them in one by one, 68 times, which is still way faster than manually typing them in, right? At least you're just copy pasting. Or alternatively, I could jump back to my CTC Spreadsheet link and I could do it much faster because it's in a spreadsheet environment. So let's pull out those same parameters we had. We're going to pull out the, let's see, sheets is the category. Okay, so here's all of the available parameters, which are essentially all the parameters that are part of that category. And we're going to want sheet number and sheet name. So any that are pulled over to that right column are pushed out to the spreadsheet like this. So it's got all the ones that are directly from the sheets, and then it's got all the placeholders that we added as well, which this should be 68. All right, I'm going to go grab that one additional parameter that created called sheet organization. I'm going to push it up to the top. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pull this back down. Back in Spreadsheet Link, you can sort. and I want to do that. So just like you can sort a Revit schedule, you can sort in Spreadsheet Link. So let's do by sheet organization. Okay, that looks good. Unprotect. If you unprotect, it allows you to do some more formulas. Okay. So now all I need to do is copy paste all of these values that I created quickly from exporting from Bluebeam Revu to Excel. Right click copy, back over to Spreadsheet Link. Okay, these are the numbers, right click paste, just like that. Okay, now we're gonna go grab the sheet name, same thing, select them, and I right click, copy, back to Spreadsheet Link. Notice you can do this in Excel or Spreadsheet Link, either way. All right. Apply back to worksheet, active worksheet. Okay, I just got a question. I will need to leave the meeting. Can I get a recording later? Yes, you can get the recording later. In fact, anyone who enrolled in this class will receive a recording automatically. Okay, elements updated, 68. Perfect. That's the exact number we wanted, right? Okay, you can save the settings. In this case, no, we're not going to save them because we got what we wanted. Okay, so just like that, we have all of the sheet names and numbers in the schedule. Perfect. Okay, now, ideally, we would like to separate them out by discipline. Okay, so I could go in each cell and do it and assign them like we did the originals, or I could use Spreadsheet Link again, right? Because I'm going to use my autofill function. So same thing, I want my sheets category. These are the parameters that are available, but I want the sheet organization, I want the sheet number, and the sheet name. Okay, now again, I can save this out to Excel, or Spreadsheet Link is a spreadsheet, so you don't have to push it out. What am I doing? Okay, I need to go over to my sorting tab and then make it sheet organization. Okay, and then by sheet number. Okay, so again, I could push this out to Excel, or I could just do it right here because it's a spreadsheet as well. Okay, so what I want here, I'm going to find my S's. I'm going to go to the top S, which is here, and we'll say 03 structural, go all caps. Okay, now as opposed to inserting that over and over, we could just use our standard autofill. Oh, I forgot to hit my control. So Control Z and then Control drag, because I want to hang on to that 03. Okay, that looks good. Now we'll go to the M's for 04 mechanical. Okay, same thing. Click, Control, drag, which is the auto fill for all of my M's. Okay, 05 plumbing, autofill. Okay, we have some fire protection in here, so we'll do 06 fire protection and autofill. And finally, we have our electrical. Okay, great. So what we just did, we populated those parameter values. Now all I have to do is hit this apply button, and it will push those parameter values directly into Revit, okay? Yes, go ahead and apply. 68 updated, perfect, that's exactly what we want. Okay, and there we go. There is our schedule. Okay, it's categorized by discipline. Very good. Here it is on the sheet. Okay, now we were using this primarily for sorting and grouping, right? I don't necessarily need to see that column replicated on the sheet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply hide that value like so. Come back. That looks good. I like to have a little space. I'm going to add. I don't necessarily need to show the title. It's pretty obvious what it is. Okay, and I'm going to add a blank line. I like a little space between the disciplines. I think it just reads nicely. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, my mechanicals a little bunched up here, so I'm going to come and adjust the column width for that. Again, I like exact values, so let's go 3/4 of an inch. Say okay, we should clean that up. Yeah, much better. All right, use my nudge or arrow keys, as we call it. Okay, go ahead and select it, hit the break, push this up so mechanicals all grouped together. Now they're a little bit misaligned at the top. I just need to pull this a little more. Okay, that looks better. All right, so there we have our completed sheet index, which has exact values from that PDF we received. Okay, and that was obviously much faster than the first few options we kind of illustrated, which is the dummy sheet or the just typing in manually. Okay, so thank you for your time today. This does conclude the webinar. And this is where we ask for questions. So we had a couple questions pop in. I need to lead the meeting. So yes, anyone who did attend today will receive an email. And in addition, like we said, all of our content gets uploaded to YouTube. Okay, so that was answered live. Amanda asked, do CTC tools come with Revit? Is it a free plugin? That's a great question, Amanda. So CTC tools, they are licensed. However, there are several free. And in fact, here, I'm going to jump back out of, let's see if I jump out, here we go. Okay, so this is the CTC BIM project suite. And here's what we were utilizing most in this was the Spreadsheet Link. And so when you purchase CTC tools, this comes as an entire suite. And you can see there are some light green tools here, and these are in fact free, and they will be free now and forever. Okay, the rest of them, you have full access to the entire suite for 14 days. And at the end of 14 days, these dark green ones will become licensed. And then you can reach out to your CTC account rep and they can get you a license for that. Okay, and it's the same thing with all of our suites. We have another suite over here, which is the BIM Manager suite. Same thing, these light blue ones will be free now and forever. And then if you want to purchase any of these after the 14-day trial, you can do that at that time as well. Okay. Let's see, can I jump back into the PowerPoint? We'll just stay in Revit. Okay, good questions. Any more? Was this helpful to you today? Okay, another question. Will CTC tools work with only the most current version of Revit? Okay, great question. No, it won't. So we're in, let's see, I am in currently Revit 2022 right here. So when I install Revit, when I install the CTC tools on Revit 22, for example, it will install it to that current version plus the previous 3 versions. So one install will put it on 22 through 2019. And then 2023 is currently out. So, you could do 2023 through 2020, I believe. Yeah, good question. Okay, so I'm going to say answer live on these. Okay, any more questions? For those of you, it seems like most of the questions are revolved around CTC tools. Please reach out to your account rep. If you don't have an account rep, call our main line and we'll get you one. And we could do a full demo. Obviously, this one was primarily devoted to Spreadsheet Link. Most of my webinars, if you've sat in them, kind of revolve around this one because it's my favorite one. But there are a lot of excellent tools in here. So, schedule a demo with your account rep and we can hit any tool you want. And it could be a one-on-one demo with you and your colleagues. Okay, great webinar, helpful, thank you. Oh, well, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are here. I have missed something, but why don't the sheets show up in the sheet list in the project browser? How do you add the new sheets? Okay, great question. So if I come back to the sheet index, okay, so we added these using this insert data row. So the first example we did was in fact the dummy sheet. And in that case, all of these would have populated in the project browser. But we decided that wasn't a great way to go because we don't need to see all these blank sheets of structural, mechanical, and plumbing because, I didn't draw them. They're not part of the architectural. Now, if I were to come up here and say new sheet, you can see they're all located right in here. These are select placeholders. So if you ever wanted to create those dummy sheets, you can do that. In fact, here, I'll do all of them. Okay, so here they are. Now they're just a bunch of blank sheets. Now, obviously, I don't really need them because I just wanted them for the index. But that's the difference between a placeholder, which they're all gone now. But that's the difference between a placeholder and an actual sheet, which would populate over here in the project browser. Great question. Okay. Oh, and in case I did not mention it, we do in fact represent Bluebeam Revu. So yeah, that is an integral piece to this workflow, obviously. If you don't have it, please reach out because we would be happy to get you set up with Bluebeam Revu as well. Okay, that looks like answer live, answer live, answer live, yes. Okay, any more questions? Okay, well, again, we do appreciate your time. I hope this is helpful to you. When you exit out of the webinar, you will be prompted, what is my favorite food? Okay, my favorite food. Thank you for the question, Brian. I really enjoy steak and pizza. That's kind of my comfort zone right in there. So as you exit the webinar, you will be prompted for a 3-question poll. We really appreciate these and it helps continue to deliver content that's pertinent to you and your workflow. So with that, we'll go ahead and close out this webinar. Thank you again.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.